Tommy Visits the Doctor by Jean H. Seligmann and Milton I. Levine, M.D. Illustrated by Richard Scarry. The publishers hope that this little book will help prepare a child for his visit to the doctor. It was written by two people who have worked extensively with children, and it was illustrated by Richard Scarry, who believes that rabbits go to doctors too. Today, Tommy is going to visit Dr. Brown. Dr. Brown is not a doctor for mommies. He is not a doctor for daddies. Dr. Brown is a doctor for children. Dr. Brown is Tommy's doctor. And Bobby Bunny is going to visit Dr. Smiles. Dr. Smiles is a doctor for bunnies. Tommy is not sick. Tommy wants to show Dr. Brown how big he is growing. He wants Dr. Brown to see how strong he is. And Bobby wants Dr. Smiles to see how well he is. Tommy rings the doorbell at the doctor's office. Dr. Brown's nurse opens the door and smiles at Tommy. "Come in, Tommy," she says. "Dr. Brown will be ready to see you in a few minutes." Bobby's doctor has a nice nurse too. Tommy sees his friend Sally in the waiting room. She has just been to see the doctor. "Hi, Tommy," says Sally. "I have grown 2 inches since last time." "That's great," says Tommy. Bobby's friend Fluffy says, "I'm 1 whole pound heavier." Tommy rides on a rocking horse, and Bobby plays with a red truck. Soon, Dr. Brown comes out and says, "Hello, Tommy, come in. It's your turn now." They go into Dr. Brown's office. "Now, Tommy," says Dr. Brown, "the first thing you do is take off your shoes and socks and shirt and slacks." Bobby takes off his clothes too. "Now, let's get up on the scale and see how heavy you are." Dr. Brown looks at the scale and says, "You weigh 40 pounds. That's 5 pounds more than the last time you were here. Your mommy must be feeding you well." "My," says Dr. Smiles, "what a fine rabbit you are." "I eat all my carrots," says Bobby proudly. "Did you grow taller too?" asks Dr. Brown. "Yes," says Tommy. "Last year's coat is too short." "Let's see how much you grew," says Dr. Brown. "Stand as tall as you can." Dr. Brown measures Tommy. "Indeed, you did grow. Last time you were just this tall," says Dr. Brown. "You grew this much." Dr. Brown holds his hand to show Tommy how much he grew. "Bobby Bunny has grown too, especially in your ears," says Dr. Smiles. "Now hop on this table," says Dr. Brown. "I'm going to look into your ears." He takes out something that looks like a flashlight with a tiny light at the end of it. "First, let's look in this ear. Now the other." "Good," says Dr. Brown. "You've got 2 fine ears." Bobby's ears are much bigger than Tommy's. That's because Bobby has rabbit ears. "And now," says Dr. Brown, "I'm going to look into your mouth and count your teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the top. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the bottom. That's 20 teeth, and just right for your age. Be sure to take good care of them." Bobby has just enough teeth for a healthy little rabbit. "Next," says Dr. Brown, "I want to look way down your throat. Can you open your mouth very, very wide? That's fine. And now, while your mouth is open, stick out your tongue and say, 'Ah.' That's very good. Your throat looks fine." Dr. Smiles looks down Bobby's throat too. Tommy lies down on the table, and Dr. Brown goes thump, thump all over Tommy's chest. He does the same thing on Tommy's back. It sounds like a little drum. Bobby laughs when Dr. Smiles goes thump, thump. He's a tickly rabbit. "Now I will use my stethoscope," says Dr. Brown. "What is it for?" asks Tommy. "It makes things sound louder," says Dr. Brown. "Here, you can listen to my heart with it." Tommy hears Dr. Brown's heart going boom, 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 boom. And Bobby hears Dr. Smiles' heart go bumpity, bumpity, bump. Then Dr. Brown puts the stethoscope in his ears and listens to Tommy's heart. He listens to other sounds all over Tommy's chest and back. You sound just fine, young man, he tells Tommy. You sound just fine, young rabbit, says Dr. Smiles. Tommy lies down again and Dr. Brown feels his stomach. Tommy is very ticklish. He can't help giggling. Bobby giggles too and wiggles his ears. Now sit up, Tommy, and dangle your legs over the table. The doctor holds up a little rubber hammer. If I hit the right spot on your knee, says Dr. Brown, your foot jumps up all by itself. Watch. He taps Tommy's knee very lightly with the hammer, and Tommy's foot jumps up. Look, my foot jumps up by itself, says Bobby. Do it again. Now, says Dr. Brown, how well can you see? I'll show you some pictures. Tommy looks. That one is a horse, he says. The doctor points to another picture. That's a star, says Tommy. He looks at more pictures, and he knows what every one of them is. Good, says Dr. Brown. You see very well. Dr. Smiles shows Bobby pictures too. Dr. Brown looks at the card that has Tommy's name at the top. I see you need a shot this time, Tommy. What is a shot like? Asked Tommy. It feels like a quick pinprick, and it's over in a second, says Dr. Brown. This shot will keep you well and strong. Bobby needs a shot too. Tommy holds out his arm. The doctor rubs Tommy's skin with a piece of cotton wet with alcohol. That's to make sure your skin is clean, says the doctor. By the time you take a deep breath, the shot will be over. And it is. That wasn't so bad, says Bobby. Just then, the nurse comes in. She has some lollipops in her hand. Choose one, she tells Tommy. Thank you, says Tommy. I'll take a red one. Bobby's nurse gives him a yellow balloon. All right, Tommy, you can get dressed now, says Dr. Brown. You are a very healthy boy. When you come again, we'll see how much more you have grown. Tommy and his mother say goodbye to the doctor. Bobby gets dressed. Goodbye, Dr. Smiles, says Bobby. Tommy can hardly wait to get home. He wants to tell his daddy how much he has grown. How pleased Daddy will be, says Mommy. What a fine, healthy bunny I have, says Mr. Rabbit.